là chấn thương nạn nhân.
Ê, phê ra luôn.
Alright.
Yo. Guys?
This situation had people doing double takes the moment it hit timelines. 1 minute everything's quiet, the next minute there's talk about a high-profile home being broken into, and suddenly everyone's asking the same question. How did this even happen? Today we're looking at the home invasion involving 6ix9ine because new developments have surfaced and the picture is getting clearer by the day. According to recent updates, all 3 alleged suspects connected to the incident have now been identified.
Hey, for anyone that's saying that I had robbed somebody's house, 6ix9ine, Red is in the west coast of Florida, and I was in Vegas. I just got to Florida, just now. I'm writing a text. I just got to Florida. What you saying? Tripping. I ain't robbed nothing, huh, man?
2 of them are currently in custody, while the 3rd is reportedly still on the move somewhere in California, and that alone has kept the conversation buzzing. This isn't just old news being recycled, this case is still actively unfolding. So let's rewind for a quick refresher. Surveillance footage from the night shows 3 individuals entering the home.
Là chấn thương nạn nhân.
Ê, phê ra luôn.
Inside at the time were 6ix9ine's mother and the family dog, which immediately made the situation even more tense. One person is seen holding what appears to be a firearm, while the group moves through the house searching around. Despite how intense it looks, the incident ended without anyone being physically harmed, which surprised a lot of people watching this play out. That reaction right there is what had folks talking. Many assumed that if someone bold enough to run into that house showed up, the outcome would have been way worse. But instead of chaos spiraling out of control, the suspects left with a limited number of items, and the situation wrapped up far differently than most expected. Once authorities stepped in, the investigation moved fast. One of the first names tied to the case was Pedro Rodriguez, and from what's been publicly discussed, investigators reportedly gathered a significant amount of evidence. People following the case online quickly started speculating that the situation wasn't looking good for him at all.
What's up? So I want to make this video to clear up all the fake news and rumors. So the world knows this. It's a fact. I'm on house arrest. I've been on house arrest. I think everyone in America and everyone across the world knows that I'm on house arrest. Yesterday, they allowed me to leave for work. People, I guess, saw that I was on live stream with Jack Doherty. They took that opportunity to fucking do some pussy shit. Like I said, it's me, so I get it. The rules are different for me. But if it was fucking your favorite artist, your favorite actor, and that was done, they don't get no cool points for that. My mom is 60 years old. Y'all know I'm supposed to come home. Y'all know I'm home all the time. I'm on house arrest. So y'all take the opportunity that I'm not home. Y'all see me on live stream with Jack Doherty in Miami, and y'all do that. That's pussy shit. That's whack. Get no cool points. I don't think nobody respects that shit.
Especially based on how much information surfaced early on. Now let's talk about the second individual allegedly involved. Sergio Andrade, along with someone also known as Dre, was booked on January 31st, 2026. He's being described as the second alleged person connected to the home invasion, and paperwork linked to the case outlines the events officers responded to that night. Those documents list everyone who was present during the incident, including 6ix9ine's mother, while also noting that 6ix9ine himself was not home at the time.
Watch out.
Holy shit! I hit it? Just keeping your head down. It's the only time in life you want to keep your head down, you know? Otherwise, keep your head up. Stay positive and shit. 6'7", 6'9".
6'7".
All right, ready? Just don't let go of the club, you know?
Nah, I'm not.
All right. Tight shit.
What the fuck, man?
You're like your baseball game.
Yeah, right?
You're like
The reports also include detailed descriptions of all 3 individuals, right down to clothing and physical appearance, including the person seen holding the weapon. At the bottom of the report, there's a breakdown of the items that were allegedly taken. This list includes gold and black Van Cleef earrings valued around $2,600, a diamond necklace with a nameplate belonging to 6ix9ine's girlfriend valued near $25,000, a Balenciaga purse estimated at $2,000, a Chanel purse around $5,000, insurance cards, about $400 in cash, and several credit cards. Now, quick heads up here. Anytime documents like this are shown, certain details have to be blurred or zoomed in for privacy reasons, especially when phone numbers and sensitive information are involved. The focus here is on understanding the case, not sending unwanted attention anyone's way. As for the third alleged suspect, that's where things remain open-ended. Reports suggest this person hasn't been taken into custody yet and is believed to be somewhere in California. Whether that changes soon is something a lot of people are watching closely. This whole situation keeps raising new questions. How did this get planned? Who knew what and when? And how did something that looked so serious end without a worse outcome? As more details come out, the story keeps evolving, and it's clear this case isn't done making noise just yet. So this is where things start tightening up fast. Investigators didn't just stop at surface-level questions. They went straight for a search warrant connected to Pedro Rodriguez. Once that warrant was approved, authorities moved in on his apartment, and what they found there immediately raised eyebrows. At the time the warrant was carried out, Pedro was inside the apartment along with his mother and Sergio Andrade. That alone became a key detail, because it placed multiple people of interest in the same location right out the gate. During questioning, Pedro confirmed his phone number and said he'd had it for a couple of years. He also claimed he had never been to 6ix9ine's community and explained that he had been staying at his girlfriend's place before returning home afterward. When asked if he had ever met 6ix9ine, Pedro said the only interaction was a brief encounter in traffic, where they supposedly took a quick photo on the side of the road. Investigators then asked if he had heard about anything happening to 6ix9ine recently, and Pedro said no. But once officers mentioned that evidence had been found in his room, the tone shifted. At that point, Pedro chose not to continue speaking, and the interview came to an immediate stop. Now here's where Sergio's statements start raising serious questions. Sergio also confirmed his phone number and initially said he had never been to 6ix9ine's community or home. But later on, his story changed. He then claimed that he had been in the community before, saying he went there to visit a woman named Sadie Brown. He also mentioned being associated with someone named Riley Olsen, who allegedly lived in that same area. When asked who he and Pedro usually spent time with, Sergio named Miguel. However, when investigators asked for permission to search his phone, Sergio declined. The same thing happened when DNA collection was requested, another refusal. When questioned about his whereabouts on November 16th, Sergio stated that he was with Pedro that night. That detail would later come back into focus as more evidence surfaced. Now stay with me here, because the amount of information that comes next paints a very clear picture. On December 20th, 2025, investigators met with Pedro's mother again. During that meeting, she provided ring camera footage from her home and walked officers through what they were seeing. She reportedly identified her son and his friends in the footage. Not only that, the video showed the group leaving the home and walking toward a white Lexus, which investigators later linked to Sergio through documentation. Pedro's mother also confirmed that Pedro was with Sergio and Miguel, reinforcing those identifications directly to investigators. That part is huge, because it connects the faces in the footage to real names through someone who knew them personally. So when you put it all together, investigators now had surveillance footage, matching clothing, vehicle information, and a direct identification from a parent. According to reports, the video shows Pedro Rodriguez, Miguel Garcia, and Sergio Andrade wearing clothing consistent with what was used during the home invasion, both before and after the incident. Then on December 23rd, investigators reportedly received another call from Pedro's mother. She said she had spoken with Sergio, who told her he knew law enforcement was closing in and that he planned to stay home and wait. She also advised that Miguel Garcia had already left, claiming the family helped put him on a train headed toward California. And at that point, the situation shifted from speculation to a full-blown active pursuit. At this stage, it really seems like everyone involved understands where this situation is headed. One of the alleged individuals, Miguel, hasn't even been publicly seen yet, and reports suggest he left the area and headed toward California. If that's accurate, it wouldn't be surprising if federal authorities eventually step in to track him down, because cases like this rarely stay local for long. As for the other two, things appear far more contained. And honestly, one of the most surprising elements in this entire situation is the role Pedro's mother has played. From the outside looking in, it almost feels like she became a central source of information for investigators. She reportedly handed over ring footage, identified her son and his friends, and even provided updates about where people were believed to be staying. According to what's been shared, she told investigators that one individual was waiting at home while another had already left town headed toward California. Now, people have debated her intentions heavily. Some see it as a parent believing accountability matters, no matter the circumstances. Others think she may not have realized how damaging that level of cooperation could be for her own child. Either way, it's a complicated situation, and there's no simple way to judge a parent caught in the middle of something like this. Investigators didn't stop there. They also spoke with Sadie Brown, whose name came up during Sergio's recorded interview. She confirmed that she knew Sergio Andrade and stated that he had two close associates named Miguel and Pedro, who she said also goes by the nickname Wreck. That detail turned out to matter more than people initially realized. According to reports, one of the individuals heard speaking during the surveillance footage called out the name Wreck, which directly lines up with Pedro Rodriguez's nickname. Because of that, speculation involving unrelated figures was quickly dismissed since the name didn't match. Based on the available footage and statements, investigators believe Pedro Rodriguez, also known as Wreck, was the individual seen holding the weapon during the incident. Again, this is based on what's been outlined in reports, not speculation pulled out of thin air. Sadie was also asked whether she knew that 6ix9ine's lived in the area. She said yes, and added that Sergio, Pedro, and Miguel were all aware of that as well, claiming it had been discussed among them previously. And if the situation wasn't already looking serious, investigators reportedly uncovered messages exchanged between Sergio and Pedro that added even more context. The conversation allegedly referenced 6ix9ine being in Miami, mentions of an address being shared during a live stream, and discussions about coordinating transportation and needing a third person. One message reportedly included Pedro sending a video showing himself holding two handguns, one of which had blue markings. Later messages allegedly discussed what to wear, meeting up, and comments about making money together. Another video was said to show Pedro holding a black handgun with an extended red magazine and a mounted light. In that same clip, investigators reportedly noticed a tattoo on Pedro's arm, along with another handgun resting nearby. This became especially important because, according to reports, the surveillance footage from the residence appears to show an individual holding a black handgun with a red extended magazine and a light attachment, matching the description from those videos. And this is where the messages really start sounding reckless. In one exchange, there's talk about using a piece that night, followed by hesitation about who's actually willing to be involved. At one point, there's doubt expressed about Miguel even showing up, which already hints at cracks forming before anything fully went down. Then the conversation turns messy. There's frustration about trust, timing, and schedules, including comments pointing out that Miguel actually had a regular job at the time. Investigators later confirmed that part by reaching out to Miguel's supervisors, who verified his employment and work hours. That detail alone made a lot of people question why someone with steady income would risk everything for something like this. The tone of the messages swings back and forth between loyalty and chaos. There are emotional lines exchanged, declarations of support, and even messages expressing affection between them. On the surface, it reads like brotherhood, but when you zoom out, it looks more like people encouraging each other to walk straight into trouble without thinking through the consequences. At one point, Sergio sends a message saying he loves Pedro, while Pedro responds in kind. That back and forth might sound harmless in another context, but paired with everything else in the chat, it comes off as a dangerous level of mutual encouragement. Investigators later pointed to this tone as part of what showed how committed they were to going through with their plan. And again, the situation with Miguel stands out. Despite having a job and responsibilities, he's still pulled into the mix. That contrast keeps coming up in discussions around this case because it suggests the decision wasn't about survival. It was about impulse and pressure. Things escalate further when messages include videos and photos showing firearms. According to reports, Pedro sent Sergio footage where he's seen wearing a black jacket and holding a handgun with an extended magazine. Investigators say those visuals help them link the messages directly back to him. There's also mention of screenshots and clips taken from the surveillance footage itself. In one message, Pedro allegedly asks if they should get a hotel for the night and lay low because things were getting tense. He suggests that everyone should disappear temporarily just in case, which investigators later described as awareness that heat was already building. Sergio reportedly responds by suggesting they leave Florida altogether. That exchange is considered important because it shows concern about being located, not confusion about what had happened. Things get even more intense when messages reference a separate incident involving a red vehicle that appeared to have damage. In one text, Pedro claims he narrowly avoided being seriously injured during a confrontation and says the car was struck during the chaos. Investigators later connected that vehicle to earlier footage already discussed in the case. Toward the end of the conversation, the tone shifts again, this time toward frustration with Miguel. Pedro and Sergio are shown criticizing him, saying he had asked for a weapon so he could sell it. That detail made investigators question whether Miguel's role was secondary rather than central. Based on how the messages read, authorities believe Pedro and Sergio were more involved in planning, while Miguel appears to have been brought in later. That interpretation comes directly from the conversations themselves, not outside speculation. And here's the part that really seals how messy this situation has become. Based on what's written in the paperwork, Miguel doesn't come off looking confident at all, and there's already speculation about whether he might decide to cooperate down the line. When pressure hits like this, people start making choices that protect themselves first, and history shows that loyalty can fade fast. As for the other two, the messages speak for themselves. There's constant back and forth about spotting live streams, tracking movements, and talking about people they know in the neighborhood. Then when it's time to explain things, it turns into, we told them everything we know, while still acting like they weren't giving up key details. From the outside, it looks less like strategy and more like panic. Miguel remains the only one reportedly still out of state, believed to be somewhere in California. According to what's been shared, his family helped him leave Florida, and that alone shows how serious things had already become. Whether he stays out there or eventually turns up is something authorities will decide, not internet commentators. For Pedro and Sergio, though, their situation appears far more immediate. They're already in custody, and while no outcome has been officially decided, the charges being discussed are extremely serious. Cases involving armed home invasion carry heavy consequences, and when you add surveillance footage, messages, witness statements, and digital evidence into the mix, the road ahead looks rough. This is honestly a textbook example of people believing real life works like a movie. Hearing that someone wealthy lives nearby doesn't mean there's an easy payday waiting. Cameras are everywhere, phones track everything, and conversations don't disappear just because you wish they would. Between ring footage, matching outfits, vehicle links, videos sent between friends, and even parental identification, the amount of evidence stacked up here is overwhelming. And that's before you even factor in the messages openly talking about laying low afterward, leaving town, or realizing things didn't go the way they imagined. Nobody walked away rich. Nobody walked away clean. Instead, everything unraveled fast, and now the consequences are real. This isn't entertainment for the people involved. It's real-life decisions with long-term impact, and that's why stories like this matter. Not for shock value, but as a reminder that one reckless choice can change everything. Courts don't care about hype, friendship, or intentions. Judges look at facts, evidence, and actions. And sympathy is rare when things reach this level. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think about how this all played out? Do you think this could have been avoided, or was it always headed this way? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. If you found this breakdown useful, make sure to like the video, share it, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And before you go, check out the next video popping up on your screen right now for even more celebrity drama and deep dives.